Grandma.
I call my grandmother
I
Gia.
call her Suki.
Grandma.
Yeah, grandma.
Grandma.
Nana.
I think she thinks that like Granny is like kind of cute. Like I think that's her like Jenny from the block like upgrade on Grandma.
So only my sister and I call my grandmother Gia.
It was like a Suki now, you know, so she's Suki to everybody.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart.
I haven't really heard her talk much about her life and her experience.
She instilled like mannerisms and being very poised and always putting your best foot forward.
Because my grandmother is really sure about who she is.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Grandmother Project presents Pearls and Pocketbooks, a monthly webinar experience featuring Black grandmothers and granddaughters discussing love, life, and everything in between. I am Melanie Brazil, and I am the creator of the Grandmother Project, an original 9-episode docuseries, which you just watched the trailer for, now available on YouTube. Be sure to visit our page and click subscribe. The link is in the chat. Last month, we chatted with amazing women from Black Greek letter sororities. We chatted about sisterhood, intergenerational bonds, and service. Tonight, we are going to be joined with 3 actual sisters who also happen to be my dear cousins. These women are journeying through each of life's seasons with grace, faith, and plenty of laughter. They are proof that life is just a little sweeter with your sisters by your side. Welcome to Pearls and Pocketbooks, episode 6, Seasons. Let's jump on in. Our first guest was born and raised in Gary, Indiana. She is the third of 4 daughters to the late Dodd and Essie Roby. Valerie Betts is a proud high school graduate of the mighty Velt, Roosevelt High School represent. She also received her Bachelor of Science degree in education from Indiana University, Northwest. During her professional career, she held administrative and management positions in governmental entities as well as nonprofit organizations in her native region. She took an early retirement as Gary City Court Administrator in 2005 to join her husband, Nicholas, when he was assigned as pastor in the Bay Area in Richmond, California. She was consistently involved and affiliated with various civic, community, and religious organizations, all of which had the common goal of service to others. She accompanied her husband, Nicholas, when he was assigned to pastor in churches in Northern and Southern California for 10 years. While in California, she served as administrator for Reach Fellowship, a faith-based nonprofit organization. Her passion for serving others remained consistent as she assisted drug abuse impacted women with educational and employment readiness services who lived in deprived communities or had recently been incarcerated. While she is humbled to have been in leadership roles, she's also a team player who firmly believes that the only true position in the body of Christ is servant. She is a loving and proud mother of 2 beautiful daughters, Kimberly and Kelly, the affectionate grandmother of 4, Kennedy, James IV, Jackson, and Carter, 3 beautiful grand dogs, Sterling the Weimaraner, Clubber the boxer, and most recently, Bentley the golden doodle, as well as a charming turtle, Squirt, and a guinea pig, Skunk. Yes, a small menagerie. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Valerie Grammy Betts. Cousin Valerie, welcome.
Hi, Cousin Melanie.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you.
I have to say, Cousin Valerie, that you win the award for Best Pet Names. I think Sport might be my favorite.
Yeah, and I forgot my other great granddog, Remy. He is the dog. His mom is my granddaughter, Kennedy. So Remy is mixed in there too.
Oh, wow. We can't forget Remy. Well, thank you so much. I cannot wait to chat with you more. We will keep on introducing all you wonderful sisters.
Okay.
All right. So our next guest is blessed to have been born into a family parented by Dodd and Essie Roby, where strong Christian values, hard work ethic, and a solid, loving, and supportive family-oriented foundation was laid. As the youngest, and while often the target of practical jokes, the camaraderie and knowledge that her older sisters would always be there for her provided encouragement to do her best and make her family proud. She was the sixth grade valedictorian, graduated with honors from Gary Roosevelt High School, and continued her education at Purdue University with a Bachelor of Science degree in entomology. After working in the private sector and realizing the desire to travel and pursue additional education required money, she decided to make a bold move and kill two birds with one stone by enlisting in the Army. It was during her military stint of 7 years that she met and married her husband, Raymond Smedley. She went on to pursue graduate coursework at Frostburg State University and began her career in environmental health. She is currently the program manager, supervisor, and local standardizing officer of 20 environmental health specialists with the Montgomery County, Maryland Health Department, which licenses and inspects approximately 3,800 retail food service facilities, 900 commercial swimming pools, and more than 240 group homes, assisted living facilities for the elderly, as well as hundreds of private schools and other programs. She's a busy lady. She has two wonderful adult children, Raynell and Randall, with her husband, Raymond, and they are the proud grandparents of Braden and Evan Smedley, who affectionately call her Mimi. She enjoys traveling, being involved in church ministries, and family activities. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Mrs. Ellen Mimi Smedley. Cousin Ellen, welcome to Pearls and Pocketbooks. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
You are a busy, busy lady. Have you been able to breathe and enjoy the summer this year?
Absolutely not. What fun would that be?
But you're keeping us safe out here, right?
Absolutely, for sure.
That is wonderful. So we are having a bit of technical challenges with our next guest, but we would like to read her bio because she is absolutely fantastic, and she will be joining us just as soon as Zoom cooperates. You know how technology is out there.
Yes, indeed.
So
yes.
We are going to go ahead and introduce the oldest of the sisters, our first guest. So she is the firstborn of Dodd and Essie Roby. She graduated from Roosevelt High School, and there she is, Roosevelt High School in Gary, Indiana, after which she attended Indiana University Northwest with an Associates of Arts degree in nursing. She went on to graduate from Indiana University with a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. And in 2006, she earned her Master's of Science degree in gerontology. She worked for 40 years at St. Vincent Hospital in Indianapolis in various positions, including case manager at the Center for Healthy Aging, where she served as consultant to patients and family members undergoing diagnosis and treatment for Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. She and her husband, the late John W. Williams, were united in marriage for over 49 years and have two children, one daughter, Lori M. Taylor, and a son, the late John W. Williams II. She has 5 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. In her spare time, she enjoys gardening, walking, traveling, reading scripture, and spiritual retreats. She volunteers as a Eucharistic minister, lector, and is a member of 2 Bible studies. She also tutors reading for 3rd and 4th grade students. She enjoys learning. She's not afraid of change, and she is always seeking new ways and practices that help her grow in her faith and her spiritual walk. It is my pleasure to welcome Mrs. Leslie Grandma. She's got 2 titles, Williams. Cousin Leslie, welcome. I'm not sure if you're able to turn on your camera, but I'm so happy that you are here. So if you can turn on your camera or unmute, we would love to see you, but thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you here. And at this time, we'll have all the sisters turn on their cameras and their audio. All right. So while they're joining us, I'm so pleased to have each of you here. Yay, we got Grammy.
Yes.
In. We got to get Mimi's camera on.
There it is. There it is.
Cousin Leslie.
Come on.
Got your audio though.
That's a good start.
That's a good start. Well, I want to know, so, ladies, thank you so much for being here with me this evening. And, it's exciting to be here with family and everybody out there watching. Thank you. We are just so pleased. This is the 6th Pearls and Pocketbooks, and I want to take this time just to thank everybody out there for rolling with us. We totally believe in these stories, and we believe that Black grandmothers deserve to be elevated, and that's what we're doing this evening. We've got not 1, not 2, but 3 Black grandmothers that deserve to be elevated, and if you're a grandmother out there, we are always sending you love. Every day is your day.
Yeah,
so.
sure.
Being here with family is just such a blessing. You all's mother and my grandfather were siblings. And so I grew up hearing stories from my mom and aunts about their childhood and how much fun they had and the family outings and the like. We've got a picture here of Essie Mae and Dodd. So we're going to show, yes. Can you all tell us about, what was it like growing up in that household?
Oh, well, for me, Dad was king, that's for sure. And I imagine it was a challenge for him being in a house with 5 women, with 1 bathroom. And, he was the sole provider when we were growing up in the steel mill. He retired from the steel mill, I think in 1971, after about 40 years of labor there. But it was fun, and they loved their family. They taught us how to do things that boys would typically do. So we had to do the gardening, and I don't mean just flowers. I mean vegetables, corn and beans and greens, that kind of a thing. We also had to learn how to paint the inside of the house. My daddy was a hunter and a fisherman, so we were involved in helping to take care of the dogs in every way and digging for the worms to go fishing and all of that kind of thing. And as a hunter, when he would bring his game home, we were right there holding the ends of the rabbits as he skinned them and, cleaning up all of this mess that was made on newspaper. And then we go with him sometimes to sell squirrels and rabbits and quails, that kind of thing. But we did everything. So it was fun. It was challenging, but we loved it. We loved it.
Wow. That is just amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Raising you all to be able to really take care of yourselves, if you think about it.
Correct.
What about you, Cousin Ellen? What was it like growing up back in the day?
It was, I'll just second pretty much everything she said. It was a lot of fun. It was hard work, but he always taught us that we did not need to depend upon anyone. He wanted to make sure that we were all independent.
Right.
Because as we all know, men today are not like they were back then. So we had to learn how to not just take care of the livestock and things like that as far as the animals, but we also had to learn how to change a tire.
Right.
Before we got behind the wheel of a car, he would say, you're going to learn how to change the tire and check the oil so you know what's going on. And I usually was the one who changed their flat tires. They would call me to come and change their flat tires. But yeah, we had a lot of fun growing up. We worked hard. We played hard.
Yeah.
And the one thing I will say that I remember the most about my dad, he would say, I always want to work in the summertime. In high school, he said, no, you don't need a summer job because you're going to be working the rest of your life. So enjoy your childhood while you can.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I appreciated that very much because I looked at so many of my other friends. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have a job and get little extra things, but you learn to enjoy what you have and not worry so much about what others have and appreciate what you have. So we were taught to take care of what we have, take care of each other, and more importantly, look out for other people who did not have half the things that we had. My mother always made sure that we had neighbors who were not as fortunate as we were. And we always were taught to share and never, ever think that you're better than anybody else.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Those are just amazing lessons to live by. And I really like, saying, you have the rest of your life to work. So enjoy your childhood. Isn't that the truth? Because when you're a kid, it feels like it's forever, right? And you just want to be grown.
Yeah.
But you look up and you're an adult and you just really want to go back in the day when you didn't have anything to worry about but playing outside.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that that's amazing. And I know that we've got a really cool childhood picture, or a younger picture, I should say, of all four sisters here.
Oh,
yes, throwback.
Oh my Lord.
So tell me this. So we got this picture up here. Did you all have nicknames for each other back in the day? Tell us kind of who was who in
Valerie was Fathead.
So true.
We'll take that slide down so we can see this.
That's true.
My uncles used to call me Pee Wee.
Right.
And Letha was D.
Yeah.
And Leslie, Valerie always called her and still does call her May. I never got into that. That was something between the two of them.
Yeah.
But that was it.
and you know what, when you talk about nicknames, it wasn't so much as a nickname for me, but all of my childhood and early adult life, my Uncle RB would always call me Valerie Jean. Uncle RB was your granddad's brother, youngest brother. And I always thought my name was Valerie Jean until I think I was in my 20s. And my mother told me, you do not have a middle name. It's just Valerie. So, but Fathead was a popular name for me back in the day. Thank you, Ellen.
You're welcome. I told you all it was going to be fun having sisters on here. And we do have cousin Leslie. She's back. I'm hoping that we can get this camera to work, y'all. We're going to send out good vibes because
yes, indeed. Yes.
Zoom can be, it can be when you need it. Zoom can freeze up. It's a wonder my Zoom hasn't frozen up. So, but we're still having a good time, and we just appreciate cousin Leslie even joining the call and doing this. She really has put a lot into this, making it happen. So I'm praying that we will get all the tech working and that it will not be stressful. You know what I mean? Because we're having a good time. Those are some good names. And now I know I'm not old enough to say them, but
it's okay.
Thank you.
It's okay.
So this next question, and of course we'll be happy to revisit, right, when we get all the tech going up. So cousin Leslie, if you're hearing this, and we are happy to revisit. This is about you all today, really it is. So this next question. So when we're young, and I know you all out there can relate, when we're young, we often butt heads with our parents. Were there things that your parents tried to impart to you all back then that you now understand now that you're parents and grandparents?
I know that Daddy was always, even though he did not graduate, I don't think junior high school or anything like that, because years ago, they had to work in the fields and that kind of thing. But he was always adamant about us getting an education. I remember there was something that they were asking me to do at church, and I didn't want to do it. And he said to me, I have worked so hard because I don't have an education. I wanted every one of you all to be sure to get an education. And so that just has always stuck with me, always trying to do better. And I think as parents and as grandparents, that's what we want for our kids and grandchildren now. We always want them to do better, to have more, to do more, to be more exposed. I know that my grandchildren are very much exposed to a lot of things that I'd never even dreamed of when I was their age. So you always want your kids, your families to do better.
Yeah, I know that's right.
I'll agree with that. Definitely. He was very adamant about education because that's something that nobody can ever take away from you. And I remember us sitting down in his recliner. He would have us read the Bible to him because he only had a 6th grade education.
Right.
And the other thing was that he really put and instilled in me was hard work.
Yeah.
You have to learn not to be lazy. You must learn to work hard and have integrity. And that's something that I think that I've tried to instill in my children, and hopefully the grandchildren will pick up on that. But, you know, young people, you guys do your own thing, but we hope that that's something that you do pick up on.
Yeah. And Mama was always so loving of her family, her siblings even. She was a great cook, and her siblings could attest to that because they would come to the house as young adults and as full grown adults come to the house. They call her Shorty and they would call her Dimples. That was middle nicknames for her. And she would cook food. When she cooked for everybody. She believed in sharing that way and loving family. So I took that from her as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful lessons right there, you know, and that's the stuff that sometimes when you're younger, it feels like a bit of a drag, but you're thankful when you get older that those kind of values were put into you, you know?
Right.
And so sort of along those same, you know, lines, when you all got older, right? And it was time for you to start your household, did you seek to, I guess for lack of a better word, recreate the way you were raised? Or were there some things that you wanted to kind of like leave behind?
I'm thinking for me, I wanted to travel more because growing up, we weren't able to afford to travel. I remember one trip we took to DC area and we were all in this car. And when we would stop, there was no hotels. We stay over at relatives' houses. I was a young kid and I was a bedwetter. And so they'd have to make special arrangements for me so that I wouldn't be an embarrassment to the family. But I remember driving along the highway from DC, Ellen, you know, coming across, and then we would stop at the gas stops, the rest stops, I guess you would say, fill up, getting gas and getting maybe a snack because we had packed our bologna sandwiches and all of that stuff too. And we would go out and we would stay in the rest area for a period of time before we would go back to the car. And we often wondered, why would Mama make us stay and just rest? But we had to do that so Daddy could sleep, take a nap in the car so that he could continue driving. That was our extent of the vacation. So I always wanted to, go and visit and see some other things. That was something that I wanted to do differently.
I'd say pretty much the same. I do like to travel. Don't travel as much as I did years ago. Would like to do more, but definitely traveling. Other than that, I think I tried to instill definitely the same moral values and principles in my children, because I just think that unfortunately, people forget about looking out for other people. I believe in, if you know that there's someone who has less than you, then you need to share, be willing to share. And that's something that Mom always instilled in us. And every time you think about moving up the ladder, just remember that there's always somebody else you can reach back and help climb up with you.
Right.
So those are the kinds of things I still believe in. I'm old fashioned about things, but I try to keep an open mind. but I am old fashioned, and that's something I appreciate that I inherited from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the world, would be a much better place if people had that kind of compassion. We've got a hand raised. Okay, so we've got Cousin Leslie. Can you hear us? We saw a hand raised. She's out there. We're gonna get this to work. We are gonna get this to work. But please don't stress, Cousin Leslie. If you can hear this, please don't stress. We are making it do what it do, and it is cool. You all are so great that we might have to like reprise. So I need you guys to clear your schedules because we're gonna do this, okay?
This is so funny, Melody. This is so funny because when we were talking with you yesterday to prepare, Ellen kept saying, Leslie, you're going to mess up. You're not going to get on. And Leslie kept saying, well, no, I know how to do it. Blah, blah. It is so funny. I hate that it's happening because I know she's frustrated as I don't know.
Yeah. We're gonna send good vibes, y'all, because we know, listen, Zoom happens to the best of us, right?
Right.
And so keeping with the fun, we've got a question actually from one of our loyal fans out there. We've got a question from Gina who wants to know, and I think this is such a great question. What was one of the greatest lessons you've learned from one or more of your sisters?
Oh, wow. For me, I think, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I defer to the elder.
I got you. My sisters were always hardworking. We had chores. Unlike a lot of kids today probably don't, but we had to do stuff. Wash, iron, sweep, clean. We had to do stuff. And while I may personally be a little lazy on some of those things today, but those are things that I remember, and you take pride in those kinds of things. Lessa was always very hardworking. Growing up, she with her being older, she was in nursing school, and wow, we remember May coming home bloodied and just tired, a little puke on her uniform and stuff. She was so hardworking, and I so respect that. I think about that often. So hardworking is something that I think I got from them. And then with Ellen, I think the loyalty. Ellen and I used to sleep in a twin bed together growing up. And it was the funniest thing because it wasn't really a bedroom because there was no closet, there was no door. No. It was just the way it was. And we were right across from our parents' bedroom. But we had a good time together. Every now and then somebody might, drink too much liquid late at night, and there would be consequences to that. But we were very close together. We loved each other as we do today.
Yep. That's definitely true, even though I always ended up in the cold spot.
Right. So. Yes, she did.
One thing I could say that I definitely learned is keep a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Don't be overly sensitive.
Yeah.
And loyalty is so important.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish more people had that these days, but unfortunately they don't. So we're just very close still, even now, which is great because family to me is everything.
Yeah. That's all you got.
Yeah.
That's
At the end of the day, that's all you got. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I think that is, I love it. I mean, we're having so much fun here. And if we can, where there's a will, there's a way. So I'm like, if we can even get Cousin Leslie on speakerphone, we can pipe her.
Right.
I wish we could.
Right. Yeah.
So if that's an option, we're gonna try to make this happen because I know we have such amazing things to add to this conversation, especially in just chatting with her as we were getting this together. So we're gonna save that time because we've got a fun thing planned at the end, and I'm really hoping that we'll be able to at least get her on speakerphone, right? So we can hear her.
We have to get her on speakerphone because it's no fun poking fun at her and she can't say anything.
No, you can't poke
Yes,
fun.
it is. Yes, it is.
Right.
I'm having a good time. Yes, it is.
Not as fun.
Hey, Liz.
Hi. Okay, I've got her on speaker. We're gonna type you in via speaker.
Should I start ducking now?
Okay, she said, this is just straight from Cousin Leslie, and all y'all can hear that. She says, you two are gonna get it. So,
We know.
so what we're gonna do, because this is a family show, Pearls and Pocketbooks is all about family. We are going to we're gonna get our tech. We have, first of all, the amazing Henry Lazari is running our tech.
Yeah.
We are going to, he is going to contact you, Cousin Leslie, with a call-in number, and we're going to get you dialed in. So he's going to be handling that, okay? And all of you out there, stay tuned. We're making it work. It's all about celebrating these women and these grandmothers. So Cousin Leslie, you are going to be just fine, and he's going to be giving you a call, okay? Give you all your directions. And you two are going to get it. Okay.
We know.
I'm not scared.
Me either.
So you all out there, thank you for being patient. All of our loyal fans, we are having a great time, and we're going to have even better time when we can hear from Cousin Leslie so she can actually retaliate here. So, I now want to so it's obvious that you all have such a strong bond. And how do you, I don't know if everybody out there is aware, but you all live in different cities all over. So how do you all maintain your bond as sisters, even though you are, by distance, you're separated by distance, you're apart?
Always the telephone. And we do that frequently in good times and bad times, growing up and, going through different experiences. Some have been good, some have not been so good, but we just still maintain that group, that supportive group. I don't know what I would do without my sisters, but we just recently left each other for the first time in almost 2 years. About 3 weeks ago, Ellen?
Mm-hmm.
We got together.
I'm wondering if we have a picture of that. Let me see. We might actually have a picture from that trip of you all. I think. We'll see. We got Henrique. We'll get that picture up if we don't get it up right this second, because
we were in Maryland, and Ellen had picked us up. Well, I was there for a birthday party for a dear friend in Maryland. Ellen lives in Maryland and wasn't that far from the party. And Leslie flew in a day or so prior to, and then we got together. Ellen got a car and we just hit the highway in different places, and we had the best time. We laughed, and some of the pictures I didn't include were when we were really relaxed. We only sent them to our children because they weren't risque, but they were like, what?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, but we had the best time. Just being silly, riding in DC. We went, did a tour on an open trolley. We, for whatever the reason, decided to ride on the top open air. The sun was so hot. It was a trip. But we, little small things, even when we were in the parking lot getting lost, we take pictures of the parking space and all of that. We just had a ball. We had a ball. We at the casino, Ellen won $3. I think I won $6, and May of all people won $14. And once we hit it, we said we'll hit it and quit it. So we left that casino. We had a good time.
That's fantastic.
We even got to see where we think President Obama lives.
Right.
We drove as far as we could, and then the security guy, the 2 police officers, I decided to be bold.
Right.
Get out of the car. I said, you all stay right here. I'm going to walk over here.
We obeyed.
And these cops were like, okay, this is a loony old lady. Let me just tell her, yes, Yeah, they live in the area, and he would do his head this way. And it was so gay, but it was nice to be able just to say we got that close to where they live, you know.
Right.
You
Yeah.
did.
That was
I'm glad you didn't get any closer, or else
No,
you
yeah,
all
I am
might have
too.
been
'Cause I definitely
on
don't want to
Zoom.
get arrested.
Yeah.
We need you all to be here.
Right.
That sounds like that's so much fun. And I really just love it. I love the fact that, you know, you prioritize family, as you said,
Yeah.
prioritizing. And like you said, through good and bad, right? Because
Right.
it's not always ups. Sometimes there's some downs, but it's great to
Oh, yeah.
have, like I said, your sisters by your sides, you know.
Right. Right.
And so
right.
now moving into some of our grandkid territory.
All right.
Now we know your grandkids. We've got a Mimi and Grammy. Do you all? Well, first I'll ask this question. Yeah, this is good.
Uh-oh.
Are there things that you do differently with your grandchildren that you didn't do with your own children?
Oh yes.
yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt.
Oh yeah. I will ask my grandchildren, what do you want Grammy to give you?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I give them options and stuff. Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
funny you say that. I was looking at Ray and I were thinking about a trampoline
Okay.
for the kids for our kids when they were younger. We said, they don't need that. And now let's get Braden a trampoline. Let's get Braden and Evan a trampoline, putting it back
Yeah.
up. My son says, wait a minute, we wanted a trampoline. You wouldn't get us what? Well, you didn't need one back then.
Right.
This is a different era now.
Yeah,
So,
it's real different.
yeah. So we spoiled them more. you know.
Absolutely. We try to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really something with grandparents, right? Like all of a sudden, you know, they just have all this patience, and grandmothers are,
Yeah.
you know, it's just something I think that happens with time. It's something special about being a grandmother. And I hope that one day I can experience that. But I know that going over my grandmother's house, I always kind of preferred it because, like, you know, I was going to get those cookies and she was gonna get the cool stuff. And
Sure.
so
Sure. Yeah.
definitely the place to be.
Yeah.
And so, you know, staying along the lines of these of your grandchildren, do you see any of yourselves in your grandchildren?
I think so. And I think more probably physical characteristics more so. My grandchildren, you know, you always want them, you always want to think that they look just like you know, but that's not always the case. But I could see my mother in my grandchildren. And it's a real heartwarming kind of thing, you know. So, and I certainly see my grandchildren in their mother and father, you know, which you just kind of pass that on down. So it's more, I think, physical, I think now, than anything else. My two boys, Jay and Jackson, they're laid back. And so our parents, not necessarily me, but our parents were kind of laid back, you know. So I see that attribute in them as well.
I don't see a lot of myself in them, but I see my son in my grandchildren, his children.
Okay.
Evan, his daughter, is more kind-hearted, like he is, more giving. Braden is more the serious type.
Okay.
He's very, very intelligent, and he's old for his age. He just turned 5, but he's more like a 7 or 8 year old with some of the things he comes up with. Very intuitive, just really, he's a little too serious sometimes for me, but he's, I look at him and sometimes I see my husband in him a little bit, but I don't see a lot of me in him.
Yeah, okay.
It looks like we are being joined now by
I see that 317 area code. Look out.
I do too.
And you know what we're gonna do, actually, Henrique, what we can do is maybe rename I think you're able to name so that we can see the Leslie there. So we're gonna get that going. In the meantime, we'll put me on the view here. Yes, perfect. We got her name going up there, and we'll give cousin Leslie a little chance to warm up because I know she's got some things to say. You all were telling all the tea from back in the day, so we'll let her get warmed up there. But so we only have a couple more questions before we get to this fun part. And thank you all out there for sticking with us. We have such a great audience tonight, so thank you all for joining us for episode 6. Tell us a little bit about. So I've heard these stories about big grandma and little grandma.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah.
Now, those of you out there in our family, there's a big grandma and little grandma. Can you all sort of tell us about big grandma, little grandma? If you know where those names came from and what that experience was like knowing them?
For me, I tend to think it was because of their physical being. Big grandma was a big lady. Little grandma was a little bitty something. Ellen took height after little grandma and our mother. And that's the only names we ever knew. Big grandma, little grandma. Big grandma was, she was a sergeant general. What's ever is higher than that. She ran things, and she ran things with an iron fist. She was tough.
Literally.
She was tough, right? She was tough. I remember, and we'd go to her house a lot because they didn't live that far from us in Gary. And grandma would have a pot of coffee on the stove like 2 or 3 days, and she would still drink that same coffee. And I learned to drink coffee. I learned to reheat coffee like grandma did. I also learned how to clean collard greens from her when she stayed with me for a period of time. But she was a no nonsense person. Now, little grandma, on the other hand, was more laid back, but she commanded such respect. She was little, and she was just a great spirit. Little grandma lived, I think, until she was like 103, Ellen, I think.
Yeah. I think that's 103, 104, something like that.
Leslie Williams is now on the line.
Uh-oh. Listen to that.
Yes.
Listen to that.
Speaking with authority. Got authority.
You two are something.
Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie.
No,
don't try that.
Don't try it. Yeah.
Cousin Leslie, you've heard all the banter. Yes. We want to ask, so let's get you all involved with this conversation. You are now, what is it like relating to your sisters now that you all are all grandmothers? Do you feel that your relationship has changed as you've gotten older, or are you all still pretty much the same except now you're grandmothers?
I think our relationship has definitely changed. We have matured so that little things like being envious or jealous of somebody's clothing or the dates that they had and I didn't have, just general, I'll say some material things is what I'm really thinking of as far as the jealousy part. But our love for one another has deepened because we've gone through different crises, as Val had talked about, and we have bonded in a way, in a spiritual depth, a dimension that it wasn't really very deep for me, at least, as when we first were growing up.
Yeah.
But as we have gotten older, our love for God and doing the right thing is very strong. And these two keep me going. teasing me all the time. I don't think I deserve that, but they have been so supportive in so many things that, I don't know what I would do without them.
That is so beautiful.
Now, Leslie, I'm going to say this. You said teasing you all the time. I remember very clearly how you and Valerie and Letha would run across the street on 24th and Grant down 24th Avenue, knowing that I was not allowed to cross the street. And I'd be left standing there crying on the corner. You all would run away from me, knowing that I couldn't cross the street. And you would do it all the time on the weekend.
But did you ever wonder why?
I'd have to go home.
What did you ever wonder why?
But you know what? I'd always end up with ice cream or something, So it was always okay.
See? So
There you
you
go.
benefited.
There you go.
You benefited, so you were fine.
You could come across the street every now and then because we go to Aunt Vista's store. Our great aunt, cousin Melanie, had a store, Griffia. And I worked in the store as a kid, dipping ice cream and on the register, and people pay. In those days, people had
so did I.
And so you'd have to keep a little book and keep up with the amounts of monies that they would have to pay. So you come across the street with that, Ellen. That was good.
Yeah, that was such fun, right?
Leslie, I want to ask you about, Cousin Leslie, you are a grandmother, you are a great grandmother.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
What lessons have you learned, Cousin Leslie, from your grandchildren and your great grandchildren?
The lessons that I've learned is that you need to look at each personality of the children. I think when I was a young mother with my children, I more or less expected one child to be similar to the other. That doesn't make sense logically, but I expected that, my nice, well-mannered daughter would be an example and model for my son, and he would be a model after her. Well, that was not true. And they were different. My great grandchildren right now are small, 4, 5, and the one is just about 3 months. Again, different personalities, having the ability to embrace those personalities and accept them for what they are. That's what my grandchildren have taught me. And I have relished their abilities. I mean, they're all so different in many ways, but I have relished their abilities and seeing them, watching them grow.
That is beautiful. We've got some pictures, actually. We're going to show, we've got some beautiful collages. Yes. So we've got them up here.
Okay.
Yes. And so super cute. And we're showing the whole squad here. We'll go to the next one. We've got your squad up here too. It's all one squad, right? But we've got Grammy's squad next. And I'll ask you the same thing, Cousin Valerie. What lessons have you learned from your grandkids?
Oh, I think I really admire and respect their ability to have each other's back, if you will. They will get angry with one another, but you can't come at one and not expect to get the other, wrath. So they have great loyalty and love for one another. And that's still, I think, just such a valuable lesson, even now at my age. So I love that about my kids. They're so beautiful. They're my heart. They're my heart.
That's beautiful. And now we're going to get Mimi's bunch up there. And you got to answer this too. What is the biggest lesson that you've learned from your grandchildren? And we've got your children up there as well.
Yeah.
Well, mine are still kind of young, but I think more than anything, I've learned patience. and
Yeah.
and not to expect too much from them. Just accept them for who they are, and just love and encourage them. So, and my right hand right now I see is there. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, kids have a way of teaching you patience, right?
Yeah, they
And
do.
That's
be
true.
in the moment, because they are
That's true.
always in the moment.
That's true.
So, ladies,
Absolutely.
this has been so amazing. We've got a game we're gonna play right now. So, Cousin
Uh-oh.
Leslie, make sure you're listening up. All of you out there, stay with us, because we got a game called Sister, the Gary, Indiana edition. This game is about how well do you know your sister. So, this first question, Cousin Leslie, you are up. What are your sister's favorite colors, Cousin Leslie?
I'm going to say purple. Purple or lavender.
Correct. All right. So that's 1 point for you. I'm keeping score. Okay.
Okay.
So Cousin Valerie, you're next.
Oh Lord.
What are your sister's favorite foods?
Macaroni and cheese. Well, let's see.
That's
We grew
yours.
up with that macaroni. Yeah, that's mine. I'm sorry.
That's yours.
Oh, okay. Ellen likes these Italian stuff. And Cotties are, that stuff that you make all the time.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And what about your sister Leslie? What is her favorite food?
I think she really likes Chinese food.
Okay.
All right. So the correct answer for Cousin Ellen was greens and chitlins.
Oh, you know what?
Leslie,
I should know that. I fixed her. I can't stand chitlins. And I fixed her chitlins one year when she visited me years ago, and she said they were the best tasting things ever. I cannot stand. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
And Cousin Leslie said fried chicken and shrimp, but I'll kind of give that to you because those could be in Chinese food. So
there you go.
We'll give you a half point.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a point
half
for me.
credit. All right, now, Cousin Ellen, you are next. What were your sister's celebrity crushes growing up?
Oh, growing up.
Growing up, or maybe even, as young adults. Think long, think wrong.
Hey, well, you know what? I'm going to think wrong then because I have no clue. But let me see. One of them probably liked, I'm trying to think. Back then, it was that was back in the dark ages.
I'm thinking, Cousin Ellen, you got to make a choice.
I don't know. The Beatles, Dave Clark 5, somebody, I don't know.
Ooh, you were maybe going to get there. Cousin Valerie, who was your favorite celebrity crush?
I loved Elvis Presley's movies.
Oh my God.
Oh.
And Cousin Leslie, what about you? You gave me an answer.
Shoot, no, I can't think.
She had Luther Vandross down for his singing. Luther Vandross.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not buying that.
So
telling the truth.
Only Cousin Leslie has a point. We got a couple more questions.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Think long, think wrong. All right. This next question is for you, Cousin Leslie. You got to defend your title here.
Okay.
You're in the lead right now. What were your sister's favorite toys growing up?
Dolls. I think dolls for both of them.
You got one. I'm giving you half credit.
Oh, I have another one.
Cousin Ellen said specifically a 3-foot tall black walking doll. Do you remember?
That's
what
right.
Definitely.
That's
That
right.
one
That's
for
right.
sure. Yeah,
That's
that one
right.
for sure. And I thought Valerie liked dolls too.
Mm-mm.
Oh well.
I like paint by numbers. Mama used to hang on the wall.
Oh my God.
That's right. Yeah.
I still do.
If you all out there know of any of these toys or you're following along, please feel free to put your favorite celebrity questions in the chat. We want to hear from all of you out there that are watching these. They are just such a riot and such a hoot. So we got a couple more questions. So far, Cousin Leslie, Grandma Leslie is winning.
I don't know how.
Okay.
I don't.
This next question
I don't
is
know
for
how.
Mimi. Mimi, what were your sister's favorite music groups in high school and college?
Oh my gosh.
You got it.
And you have to remember, they're like 10 and 50 years older than I am.
Oh my gosh.
Now listen.
So I don't know.
Just say you don't know. Just say you don't know.
All right, you got 5 seconds, Mimi.
I don't know. The Beatles.
All right.
I don't know.
Well,
No.
Leslie is making Cousin Leslie's making a comeback for all the teasing you all did earlier.
That's right.
Cousin Valerie's favorite groups, and you could have picked any one of these. I would have given you points. The Spaniels, which of course that's our
Oh
favorite.
yes. Okay.
Right.
That was our
Okay.
uncle.
Cole
Okay.
was in the
Okay.
Spaniels. The
Right.
Temptations and Gladys Knight.
Right.
And Cousin Leslie said
Right. Temptation. Yep.
Temptations.
Whatever.
What was Leslie's? What, the Beatles? Was hers the Beatles?
Temptations.
Oh, May.
She ain't telling the truth.
All right.
You remember that song, My Girl, that we used to sing?
Girl, please.
That
My
song,
Girl.
My Girl.
Cousin Valerie, you have the final question for sister. And your question is, what did your sisters want to be growing up?
May, a nurse. Ellen, a bug lady.
No, that wasn't what she wanted.
All right, Cousin Leslie, do you want to weigh in?
I think Ellen was pharmacy initially.
All right. Well, Mimi, what is the correct answer?
Growing up was the key part of the question that you guys did not listen to.
Oh, God.
We listened to it.
Growing up,
Well,
I wanted to be the dean of a women's college.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes, I remember
Oh,
that.
dear.
I remember. Well, I'm going to tell you, when I was in early high school, I wanted to be a bus driver. And Mama had a fit. I like the smell of diesel.
You always were strange.
You're on fumes right now.
Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. We definitely have to do a part 2. All right. So this next, thank you all for staying out there. We just have a couple more questions, and these are going to be really fun. And the first person so you got to think fast. The first person to blurt it out gets a point. Like I said, Cousin Leslie has a huge lead. She is winning, although you came back a little bit, Cousin Valerie. So these are Gary, Indiana questions, right? So the family is from Gary, and we're going to represent Gary. These are Gary trivia. You got to blurt it out as fast as you can.
Okay.
What was the name of the company located on 15th Avenue that had live cows inside?
And what?
Live cows.
I don't know what that was.
15th Avenue.
Oh, that's before
That was
my
before
time.
my time.
That's before my time. Oh, my God.
It was, the correct answer is Dixie Dairy.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Girl.
yeah.
Where'd you get
Oh,
that from?
yeah.
Where'd you get that from, Melanie?
I got it from my mom.
Yeah, okay.
Your grandma.
All right.
Your grandmother.
This next question. Gary has lots of famous people. Of course, we all know the Jacksons, but there was another famous singer that sang a song called Free that is from
Denise
Williams.
Denise
Williams.
Williams.
Denise
That's
Williams.
right.
I went to school with her. I went to school with her.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she stole my 5th grade boyfriend. I
Yeah,
went to
the
school with her.
twin. Yep.
Oh goodness. Denise Williams.
Yeah.
That's the juiciest piece of information of the night.
The
Denise
twin,
Williams
yes.
stole my
I love her
cousin's
music.
5th grade boyfriend. All right, so this next one is a little bit of history here. What year did Gary Roosevelt win the state championship in basketball?
1968. 68.
I'm giving you all 3 that. And finally, we got 2 more. 2 more. Hang in there, y'all.
Okay.
Who was the first Black mayor of Gary, Indiana?
Richard Gordon Hatcher. Richard Gordon Hatcher. Luther Vandross, May. Luther Vandross.
And finally, this is the tiebreaker because you all are coming up on these. You know Gary. Gary's a city of churches. I need you to name 4 churches in Gary that were famous churches in Gary. The first person to name 4.
First Baptist, St. Timothy, Van Buren.
I said them already.
I'm gonna have to call a tie. You all need your own show. We're gonna take this on the road. I want to thank everybody out there. I want to thank Henrique, all of our supporters. Thank you for coming to another episode of Pearls and Pocketbooks. Stay tuned for a special announcement. We want to give some special thanks right now. And first of all, thank you. Thank you, cousin Leslie. You were so persistent, and it just really made this whole conversation with you being able to join. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm glad I could join.
This was a riot. You all were so much fun. We want to thank our supporters out there, because really, this is a labor of love and we depend on your support. So be sure to follow the link. It's in the chat for our YouTube. And if you stay tuned, you're going to see our YouTube. Go to YouTube and search the Grandmother Project series, everyone. And you're going to click subscribe. That is so important, because if we all click subscribe, we can get our own channel. I want to thank Benita Herring. I want to thank Paris Nesbitt and Claire Range for supporting the Grandmother Project with donations. Stay tuned for a special message of how you can help. And please be ready for the next Pearls and Pocketbooks. I hope you all had as much fun as we did today.
Yes.
This was so much fun.
Great time.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Melanie.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you all out there for watching. This has been another episode of Pearls and Pocketbooks. Stay tuned. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Supporting the Grandmother Project is easy. Simply go to www.grandmotherprojectseries.com and click donate. You'll be directed to our PayPal page, where you can enter an amount to help support the creation of new episodes and content. Be sure to like and subscribe to our page on YouTube and follow us on social media. See you next month on the next Pearls and Pocketbooks.
Take a screenshot, everybody.